The internet runs on ads. It just does.
There is a shortage of 500.
Yeah, it does, and it sucks. People hate them so much that they're willing to pay not to see them at all. Ads are everywhere. They have been around forever and they seem like a necessary evil. But what if it didn't have to? What would the internet be like without advertising? Can you imagine that? An ad-free utopia. We can't go back to the 90s style websites, but maybe we can do something about YouTube. Hello, my name is Benjamin and I'm a software engineer and I need your help to build a better YouTube. It's not hard to imagine a YouTube without ads because that's how it originally was when YouTube started out. And the ex-PayPal employees had no way of making money, so they quickly burned through the cash they got from angel investors. And the only reason the whole project didn't die was because a Google employee begged Google to buy the platform for $1.6 billion.
$100 billion!
In hindsight, it seems stupid to have to convince the #1 largest search engine in the world that buying the second largest search engine in the world that makes them $28 billion a year would be a good idea. But at the time, Google was not big on ads. In fact, Google originally thought that most of the money was going to come from licensing their search engine to corporate clients, and maybe 15% of the revenue was going to come from ads. Nobody really thought much of ads at that time, and this is ironic because their search algorithm was the origin of programmatic ads, which would usher in ludicrous amounts of money from big companies. Programmatic advertising is a system that automates the process and transactions involved with purchasing and dynamically placing ads on websites or apps. In the old days, ads were sold the same way they're sold by newspapers. You got a call from someone who wanted to buy a banner ad on your website, and it was placed and removed manually there by a programmer. Now this process could take weeks, and Google crunched it down to less than a second. Because of this, now everything in the internet relies on ads. It's just a simple and surefire way to make money on the internet. With enough traffic, you can make ridiculous amounts of money. The real trouble came when this business model was applied to social media sites such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. With that, a site of unfortunate events was set in motion. Time on site, the metric to rule them all. So in order to make money and stay free, the users of social media platforms must be shown ads. And unlike Google, who can only suggest stuff to other websites with tools, these social media platforms can collect data on their users to hone in on one single metric overall: time on site. The longer you remain on YouTube, the more ads they can show you. More ads, more money. Whichever video succeeds at trapping the audience the advertisers want for the longest makes YouTube the most amount of money. The channels that make the most money get recommended the most and grow quicker. This means that discoverability for new channels or channels with an audience that advertisers don't look for, it goes out the drain. This mostly affects content creators, some of them who have even gotten their videos demonetized or their whole channels canceled. These content creators, to make the amount of money they were making before, most of them have had to shift from a creative, high quality type of content to whatever trend or audience the algorithm is optimizing for. So in short, ads bad. But without them, YouTube would quickly go bankrupt because who's gonna pay for all the video hosting? Everysecond.io/YouTube says that 400 hours of video content get uploaded every minute to YouTube. This site estimates that YouTube makes around 35 grand per minute. If this metric is somewhat correct, I would only imagine that their hosting and other costs would have to be much less than that. Still a lot of money. But Ben, what about subscriptions? YouTube has implemented many other monetization options to reduce its dependency on ads. One of them being YouTube Premium, its monthly subscription option. But according to businessofapps.com, YouTube Premium has only managed to reach 50 million subscribers as of 2021. That's a lot of subs, but if you compare it with 2.5 billion monthly active users, barely 2%. The global online advertising market size reached 186 billion in 2021. IMARC Group expects the market to reach around 350 billion by 2027. There's just so much money being thrown at ads by big companies that subscriptions are nowhere near what a platform can make with ads. This is something that even Netflix has had to come in terms with. They are now offering an ad-supported tier to grow its user base. Now, content creators have brand deals, Patreon, to help them monetize their videos without having to sacrifice their real interest in order to make whatever the algorithm promotes best. But that doesn't help small channels that have not yet amassed a big enough audience and a following to get brand deals or Patreon donation. They have to suck it up and grind their way to enough subscribers to start making any amount of money at all. And that's if Google can fit ads in their video. It's an okay system. Most of those channels, myself included, are bad initially at making videos. So grinding out a lot of videos helps them get better at making videos, but not necessarily at making better or unique videos, just at making videos. Most of these cases, the content creators deviate towards what makes them money and not to what they are passionate about or want to creatively express. At the end of the day, ad revenue mostly benefits big channels that work best with what advertisers want to sell. And that's a bummer because the opposite of those channels are the kind of channels I would like to make. And knowing that I would most likely get treated as a financial burden to the platform, sad. Advertisers want to sell people stuff. I get it. They want their ads to be shown in channels that have a lot of people that could buy their stuff watch. It makes perfect sense. But what if we could inject more money into the YouTube platform in a way that newly created channels and channels that don't fit well into the advertising model could receive income from the get-go? Introducing micropayment. A micropayment is a small transaction amount that is usually spent on digital product over the internet. Micropayments can work in one of two ways. One, through a prepaid system. Two, at the point of sale. Micropayments can range from a few pennies up to several dollars, or even as small as a fraction of a penny. A number of micropayment systems were proposed and developed in the mid to late 1990s, all of which were automatically unsuccessful because transaction fees often exceeded the payments themselves. Up until recently, micropayments were not economically feasible. Recent technologies have opened up the doors to this sort of payment. One example is Drop. This is a micropayments platform that allows consumers and merchants to make and accept payments as small as a fraction of a cent for physical and digital goods and services. Drop is unique in that it accepts both fiat and cryptocurrency, as well as maintains complete privacy of consumer transactions. They recently added a plugin in Shopify that lets its merchants charge fractions of a penny for digital goods. Check them out at drop.cc. Make content creators more money with microtransactions. What if we made all current vanity metrics on YouTube a micropayment? I made a list of all the desirable metrics inside YouTube. What if we added a fraction of a penny to each one? How much money would a small channel that gets likes make? Even its audience could make money from a helpful or witty comment. What else can we add money to besides vanity metrics? So in conclusion, ads are not going anywhere anytime soon. There's just way too much money being poured in by big companies that it wouldn't make economic sense to replace them. I think a YouTube without ads would not be as big as it is. Maybe adding micropayments can help small channels, users, and YouTube inject more money into what elevates the value of each video. I will be making a small demo of what a YouTube with micropayments would look like, and later on adding real microtransactions to that demo to simulate real money being transferred around with each action. If this works, I will share this with people smarter than me, ask for their feedback, iterate, and tweet to people that work at YouTube and different content creators to hopefully push for this to get implemented in the real YouTube. What do you think? Can we make YouTube more money while helping out small content creators and channels that don't fit in with its advertising model? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you do know someone who could make this happen, please share this video with them. Thank you for watching.